Okay, what's going on, everybody? We are here. We are live. I want to thank you all for joining me today. If you can see and hear me clearly, please drop a 1 in the live chat, and then we can get today's stream started. Please drop a 1 in the live chat, and then we can get today's stream started. And as I'm waiting for the ones to come into the live chat, if you haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button, because that is the most important thing you can do for me on this channel. What it does is that it helps make sure that those who are subscribed to the channel will indeed get the notifications, and it also helps to push this video through the YouTube algorithm as well. Secondly, if you're new to the channel, or maybe you've been ghost watching this channel for quite some time now, please do me a favor and yourself a favor by hitting the subscribe button, as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button, so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. And lastly, please make sure you share this video out on your social media platforms as well, so your family and friends to inform them on this news and information. And yes, that does also help to give me a slight boost in the YouTube algorithm also. And with the introduction out of the way, and I can see that you all can see and hear me clearly, let's get today's stream started. Let's get it started. So apparently, right? Apparently, Amber Rose, after she spoke at the Republican National Convention, it appears that Amber Rose was the Republicans' secret weapon to get the black vote. Amber Rose was the Republican Party's secret weapon to get the black vote. When I listened to her 5-minute speech, I didn't take it like that. You know, I didn't see her as this being, I didn't see this as being some masterful plan to get the black vote by Republicans. But apparently, according to, Joy Reid and Van Jones, black voters, be careful. Do your research on Amber Rose, because she's trying to trick you. She's trying to trick you. Now, the real question is Amber Rose trying to trick you, or is Van Jones and Joy Reid trying to trick you into voting Biden 2024? That's the real question. I want to get into what Van Jones had to say first, because Van Jones discussed how dangerous Amber Rose is and how dangerous her speech was at the Republican National Convention. Apparently, it was very dangerous. I didn't take it as that, but it was. But before we get into that, I'm sorry, I have to do it. I cannot ever in life speak on Van Jones without playing this classic moment in American political history. I have to do it. I apologize. I know some of you are sick of this video, but I got to do it. Like I said, this is a classic moment in American history when Van Jones broke out into tears because Joe Biden beat Donald Trump in the election of 2020. I got to play it for you. And the Oscar goes to Van Jones.
Van, what are your thoughts?
It's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Telling the truth matters. Being a good person matters. And it's easier for a whole lot of people. If you're Muslim in this country, you don't have to worry if the president doesn't want you here. If you're an immigrant, you don't have to worry if the president's going to be happier to have babies snatched away or send dreamers.
This never gets old to me. Maybe to you guys, and I'm sorry, but it never gets old to me. I could watch this a million times over.
Immigrant, you don't have to worry if the president's going to be happier to have babies snatched away or send dreamers back for no reason. It's vindication for a lot of people who have really suffered. The I can't breathe. That wasn't just George Floyd. That was a lot of people that felt that they couldn't breathe.
That was all of us, man. We all felt like that. But we were able to breathe again once Biden came into office. How many of you all felt like you were able to breathe again once Biden and Harris took office? I feel like I've gotten more, suffocated. I've suffocated a lot more. I feel like I'm suffocating since they've been in office. But apparently, Van Jones, now he feels like he can breathe, right? But that's enough of that. Like I said, I had to do it. It's a classic moment in American political history. Now, what I want to do is let's just get into what Van Jones had to say about Amber Rose, because apparently, the message was dangerous. This was a dangerous blow to the Democrat Party, because apparently Amber Rose is just that powerful, and this was the Republican Party's secret weapon. So let's get into what Van Jones had to say on CNN. And thank you very much, G5. I appreciate you for being the first person to contribute to today's stream. G5, thank you very much. Your contribution definitely is appreciated. I do not exist without you guys' support. Thank you very much. Now let's get into Van Jones and apparently this dangerous speech that came from Amber Rose.
That was probably the most dangerous speak for the Democratic coalition. That is a young woman of color. She's describing the...
Amber Rose is as white as snow. Her skin is as white as snow. And he said that as a young woman of color. Now, I get it. And we're going to get into that later. We're going to get into her racial makeup at the end of the stream. And it's not because of this is what I think and how I feel. We're going to get into Amber Rose's racial makeup because she explained it and she got into it after Joy Reid made it a point to call it out for no reason. But I don't want to jump the gun. I just wanted to highlight that point right there when he said a young woman of color. Like I said, her skin is as white as snow. I get it technically because she is biracial, but I don't know. That was just kind of weird to me. This is how they're trying to spin it into Black voters beware. And Joy Reid made it very clear that Black voters should beware. But that's later. I don't want to jump the gun. I'm going to let Van Jones finish his statement.
She's describing the experience a lot of people have, feeling that maybe if you're around too many liberals, you might get criticized too much, or you might not be able to speak your mind. And she spoke to it really well. And she's way more famous than any of us up here. Yeah. I'm going to tell you that, way more famous. And so to the extent that these guys are trying to bust up our coalition, that was a bunker buster right there.
By the way, and it's one of the things we...
He said Amber Rose's speech was a bucket buster? How?
And so to the extent that these guys are trying to bust up our coalition, that was a bunker buster right there.
By the way,
what coalition was Amber Rose busting up by way of giving a 5-minute speech about how she'd come to like Donald Trump at the Republican National Convention? I don't know what this man's talking about.
And it's one of the things we've been talking about, but there are speakers who speak to the room and there are speakers who speak through the television screen. She speaks through the camera to the audience at home, not... I mean, she's effective in the room, but when you're yelling into the room, that is not communicating directly through the lens.
This person.
What is Anderson Cooper talking about? Some people speak to the room, some people speak to the TV, and when you speak to the TV, it goes through the rooms from out of the speaker, but sometimes you speak to people when they're in the bathroom. These guys are losing their mind trying to spin Amber Rose's speech into some profound statement that she made that's going to trick Black folks into voting for Trump. What is he talking about right now? I'm going to play Anderson Cooper one more time.
There are speakers who speak to the room and there are speakers who speak through the television screen. She speaks through the camera to the audience at home, not... I mean, she's effective in the room, but when you're yelling into the room, that is not communicating directly through the lens.
What? Anyways, let's just let it go.
This person is super talented. Okay, like this person knows how to speak plainly and directly, knows how to use the camera, the cadence of it. They got something there.
Yeah, and it really is hard. In those big arenas, it's hard not to want to fill up the room. You want to scream and make sure the grandma in the back can hear you. But you're not talking to the 30,000 people there. You're talking to the 30 million people at home. And she was the most effective. You can be heard.
Listen, I'm not going to front. Her speech was good. You can disagree with, her points politically, but, she did give a good speech. You could tell she rehearsed it. But, I mean, it wasn't all that. I mean, they're making it seem like she just captivated the world with that speech, and now it's going to be a landslide victory for Donald Trump off of Amber Rose alone. These people are crazy.
In the hall, but you're in somebody's living room. She understood that, and I would not be surprised if she doesn't have a political future.
Yeah, you can tell that she.
Van Jones said, I wouldn't be surprised if she had a political future. We're going to move on. There's like a couple more seconds left, but I've heard enough. I've heard enough. I've heard enough.
There's 30 million people at home, and she was the most effective. You can be heard in the hall, but you're in somebody's living room. She understood that. And I would not be surprised if she doesn't have a political future.
Yeah, you can tell that she's somebody who makes a living communicating with people on the screen, right? She understood how to connect with the camera. That's what she does. That's part of why she has 23 million Instagram followers.
The only thing,
but
that's enough. No, we got to keep listening.
All right, go ahead. The only thing I would add to that is not only are you speaking to the people watching, but per some of your well taken criticisms of some of the earlier African American speakers. They're going to cut these things up into little YouTube videos of 10, 30, TikTok videos, all that kind of stuff. And they'll take highlights, and if they have a good digital operation,
It'll be seen by
it's going to be seen by a lot more people.
Speaking of,
unless I misunderstood what he said, did he say that she spoke better than all the other black speakers? I don't think he meant that from a point of racism. You know what I mean? Because apparently, Amber Rose is a woman of color. So I guess he was just assuming, hey, she's a woman of color. She's black to some degree, right? You can say, and she was the best black speaker. I think that's what he actually meant, is that like Amber Rose was the best black speaker. I'm not going to put racism on this man. I don't know him. I'm sure that he's a good man. You know what I mean? Whoever that individual is. I think what he meant was that Amber Rose was the best black speaker at the RNC, the Republican National Convention. I'm floored. I didn't actually listen to this in its entirety until now. I didn't know that CNN gave Amber Rose this much power. I had no idea they gave her this much power as it pertains to just apparently influencing the masses, and what we're going to see next, influencing the black vote. Because now what I want to do is get into what Joy Reid had to say. And Joy Reid was beating the drum hard to warn black Americans to do their research on Amber Rose. Do your research on her, because she's not who you think that she is. Black voters, be careful. Now, before we get into that, I got to shout out the supporters. Thank you very much, Kai Azor, if I'm saying your name right. I appreciate you, Kai, for coming through as you always do. And thank you very much, Brian Thomas, who came through with the super sticker. Thank you all for contributing to today's show. I don't exist without you guys' support. I deeply appreciate it, and it does not go unnoticed. Now let's get into what Joy Reid had to say, because she's the real star of the show here on TD Media Group. She's the real star. You all came here for Joy Reid. So we're going to get into Joy Reid right now. Let's jump into what Joy Reid had to say.
A member of Congress who was a Republican came out immediately and blamed the incident on DEI and said,
Let me rewind it back just a little bit. It started like maybe a second or two ahead.
The weekend, a member of Congress who was a Republican came out immediately and blamed the incident on DEI and said that the fact that there were women and black people in the Secret Service is the reason this happened. That is a member of Congress who went out on the TV and said to the world that DEI was the cause of an assassination attempt.
Because MSNBC lies so much, I'm going to need somebody to fact check that for me. Did a member of Congress actually say Donald Trump's assassination attempt happened because of women and black people in the Secret Service? I mean, like, was that literally stated? I feel like that wasn't literally said, but that's what she's saying. I mean, because they do that all the time. She's known for this regularly. I'm just curious. You guys let me know in the comment section if that's what was actually said. See, you all are saying women, but not black people. See? You see? I knew as soon as I heard her say that, I was like, Nobody said that because I'm abreast to what's going on in these conservative streets. I was just testing you guys. I know what they said. They didn't say nothing about black people. They didn't say nothing about black folks. They didn't say nothing about black people. They said women. That's what they said. They said women. And Joy Reid literally lied to you. And she likes to fashion herself as someone who's speaking to Black America when she speaks. So she literally lied to Black America in your face, telling you that a member of Congress said that Donald Trump there was a failed assassination attempt on Donald Trump because of women and Black people. The guy never said that. Said women, didn't say anything about Black people. But I don't know if this is who you choose to listen to get your news from, Joy Reid. God bless, because you're getting lied to every day by this woman and everybody at MSNBC, for that matter.
This is where the Republican Party is. So it's ironic that they were able to recruit this young woman who, she's a racially ambiguous. I don't want to say she's Black because she has said she's not. So I don't want to say this woman who is of whatever race that she has claimed. She said she's not Black. But
wasn't Don Lemon fired from CNN for saying to Vivek Ramaswamy, whatever race that you are? I think I'm gonna have to charge Joy Reid with a little bit of racism there for saying whatever race that Amber Rose is. I don't know about you, Joy. Sounds kind of racist.
I don't want to say this woman who is of whatever race that she has claimed. She said she's not Black. But they've brought somebody whose whole career is based in Black culture. She used to be on a show on BET. That's the reason most people know who she is. She dated one of the most prominent African-American rappers in the business in the history of hip hop. So her whole culture came from Black culture, even though she says she's not a Black person herself. And the fact that she is now the person they're using to try to recruit young people of color and to say that this is the person who is the endorser of Donald Trump who you should trust, when she won't even claim the culture that brought her to the table. I'm dubious that this will work. I don't know anyone who takes their political cues from Amber Rose, but just in case you do, you might want to duplicate doing your own research because she might not have done it thoroughly.
Joy Reid is literally creating a problem where there isn't one concerning Amber Rose's Blackness, right? And her Black card and how she denies her Blackness and has went out of her way to say that she isn't Black. I have to do this. I have to do this again. And some of you know where I'm going with this. Joy Reid needs to stop questioning other people's Blackness, saying who is and who isn't Black. I'm just going to go through this quickly. Some of you know exactly what I'm getting ready to do right now. This is Joy Reid in her natural state. And this is Joy Reid trying to be a white woman. This is Joy Reid in her natural state. And this is her present state, attempting to look like Amber Rose. She's trying to look like Amber Rose. She's trying to pull Amber Rose's Black card while trying to look like her at the same time, pump faking as if she's pro-Black. When you see in her natural state without the hair and makeup, she's Black. But when it's time to go on air, she's trying to be white, literally doing the Sammy Sosa. Okay? I'm going to need you to stop, Joy. I'm going to need you to stop questioning other people's Blackness. Even if they don't claim Black, you don't get to speak on that. You have to be quiet. You got to stop talking. Okay? But now here's the other thing I want to get into. Here's the other thing, in all seriousness, right, concerning Amber Rose. First thing is this, right? Amber Rose, once again, because Joy Reid's creating an issue where there's no issue, just to get Black people agitated so that they can vote for Biden. Amber Rose wasn't on stage speaking on behalf of Black people. She never said anything about Black people. Black never came out of her mouth. You don't even see the Republicans parading Amber Rose around the way that the Democrats were parading around Cardi B all of 2020. They were parading Cardi B around like crazy. masking her as some sort of a black woman speaking on black issues. That's what the Democrats are doing. They had Cardi B interviewing Joe Biden. They had Cardi B interviewing Bernie Sanders. They constantly had Kamala Harris making reference to Cardi B, saying that Cardi B is her favorite rapper, and on her off time, she likes to dance in her office to Cardi B. Just lying. We all know that Kamala Harris doesn't listen to Cardi B. There is no evidence that you can show me that Republicans are parading Amber Rose around as some sort of black woman in order to get the black vote. She came there. She spoke her piece. She spoke about her own experience, and that was the end of it. She wasn't speaking for black people, right? But then here's the other thing. Concerning her denying her blackness. She's gone out of her way to deny her blackness. She has openly stated, I think on multiple occasions that she's not a black woman. She's said this on multiple occasions, if I'm not mistaken, very vehemently. I'm not a black woman. And she isn't. She's biracial. And that's what she claims, and that's what she stands on. She actually, let me pull this up. She responded to Joy Reid by saying this. And for whatever the reason being, I think the original tweet is taken down. I don't know why she took it down, but I think the original tweet has been taken down. But this was her response to Joy Reid. And I want to get into, her being black and, she doesn't claim to be black. She says she's biracial. Apparently that's a big deal. We're going to get into that. We're going to dissect that very quickly. Amber Rose responded to Joy Reid and stated this on Twitter. But like I said, I think she deleted the tweet now. I don't know why she did. She said, "Hi, Joy Reid. I never said I wasn't black. I said I identify as biracial," she wrote. "I'm not going to invalidate my white father to make you feel more comfortable. Stop being a race baiter. Your president does enough race baiting for all of us," she added. Now, I think the reason that she actually deleted it, because technically she has stated that she's not black and she's a black woman. But if you go into her actual history, right, look at her lineage, right? You look into her lineage. What's Amber Rose's lineage? Lineage talk. Her father is of Irish and Italian descent, and her mother is of Cape Verdean and maternal Scottish descent. Her father is white. Her mother is Cape Verdean and Scottish. By that makeup, that makes Amber Rose more white than black. And when you look at Amber Rose and you see her, she clearly looks that way. So what's the problem with a woman who looks like this, whose skin is as white as snow, saying she's not black? The real question is, for people who have a problem with that, why do you want a woman whose skin as white as snow to say that she's black? Why do you want that? That's the real question. Why do you want that? She's not running around here false flagging being black while doing a bunch of anti-black things, right? That's not what she's doing. I'll do you one better. She's not out here claiming to be black while at the same time, while actually being biracial, right? Let's just pretend, we don't even have to pretend. Now that I think about it, Amber Rose has the Barack Obama makeup. I'm talking about like genetics. Barack Obama is half white and half African, but paraded himself as a black man and rode into the White House on the lineage of the descendants of slaves, black American slaves, a lineage that is not his because he's half white, half black. But he rode into the White House on a lineage that is not his just to get into office and do this to the very black folks that he was pretending to be. New report looks at how Obama's housing policies destroys black wealth. He also did this, or didn't do this, you can say, how Barack Obama failed black Americans. The country's first black president never pursued policies bold enough to close the racial wealth gap. This is a guy with the same racial makeup as Amber Rose, who claimed to be black, rode into the White House on the coattails of the descendants of American slavery just to turn around and destroy your community. That's some wild stuff, isn't it? Kamala Harris, people put Kamala Harris on the same level as a Harriet Tubman. On the same level as a Harriet Tubman. Kamala Harris is another biracial mixed woman whose mother is Indian, her father is Jamaican. She rode in on the coattails of a lineage that is not hers, just to be the border czar and fail at it. So now we have a migrant crisis that negatively impacts the black community the most. And she's black. She claims black. And you love her. And you love Barack Obama. You love the very people who are of mixed race, who are not of the lineage of those who comes out of the slave plantations of America. You love these people who claim to be black and have destroyed your community. But for some reason, all of a sudden, everybody got a problem with Amber Rose, whose skin is as white as snow, for saying, I'm not black, I'm biracial. What kind of stupid is that? Sometimes you just got to just be honest. What kind of stupid is that? That's insanity. That is pure insanity. That is insanity on a level that is beyond belief. Beyond belief. You love Obama, half white, half African, Kenyan, who claimed to be black, but then destroyed your community, economically speaking, right? You love Amber Rose. You love Kamala Harris, who's half Indian, half Jamaican, but claims to be black, rode in just like Barack Obama on the coattails of a lineage that is not hers, just to flood your communities with illegal immigration. Shout out to all my black Americans on the south side and west side of Chicago, knowing good and well that illegal immigration negatively impacts the black community the most. You all love them. You love them, but got a problem with this ice queen right here. Oh, y'all got a problem with the ice queen. Why? She's standing on lineage, isn't she? I would say so. Her father is white. Her mother is half Cape Verdean, half Scottish. That would make her more white than black. And she says vehemently, I'm not a black woman. Look at me. I'm not a black woman. I'm biracial. And somehow people are mad about that, yet love the very people who claim to be black and have destroyed your community over and over and over again. I rest my case, man. I ain't got no more talking. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm finished. I want to thank you all for joining me today. People like Joy Reid are destroying the black community. People that actually listen to her. People who listen to Joy Reid. Oh, Lord have mercy on your soul. Wow. And online, you will see black folks that are like, yeah, Joy, she said she's not black. Yeah. She's literally more white than she's black. Her white as the skin is snow. But you love Obama and you love Kamala Harris. I'm just repeating the same thing over and over again. Come on, man. I just, some of the stuff is just so ridiculous that it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing. And if I don't get offline now, I'm going to start being mean soon. You see this guy right here? He's not nice. Black Light Revelations 2. If I don't end this live stream, I'm going to start talking like him pretty soon. I'm going to start talking like him pretty soon, and then you're all really going to be upset. So with all that being said, that does it for today's show. I want to thank you all for joining me today. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. For the 73 of you who are watching on Twitter right now, migrate over to the YouTube channel at TD Media Group. Please don't forget to migrate over to the YouTube channel, TD Media Group, so you can partake in the live stream chat. You know, it's very vibrant. But do that. Shout out to everybody who watched. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Share this video on your social media platforms. Also, don't forget to follow me on Telegram. Please do that on Telegram at TD Media Group. The link to my Telegram is in the description box below, as well as pinned in the comment section. And shout out to my man, Mr. Inglewood, for coming through with the buzzer beater. I appreciate you, Mr. Inglewood 77, with the super chat. He says, shout out to me. Shout out to you, bro. And shout out to everybody who checked me out today. I appreciate you all for, watching my program. I'll catch you all tomorrow. Have a great evening and a safe one. Peace.